Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Murat Gassiev defeats Yunier Dorticos in the 12th round via KO. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest of boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit that bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chat channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. Also shout out to the World Boxing Super Series, WBSS. And shout out to Murat Gassiev, Abel Sanchez, Gennady Golovkin, everybody that helped motivate Gassiev for this particular performance. Now, I just watched the fight and I want to do my post-fight. Listen, this is the type of fight that makes me happy to be a boxing fan, and I truly mean that. This fight delivered, and it's very unfortunate to me that a fight like this and this whole tournament doesn't look like it really got picked up by a US network. I think Showtime, HBO, somebody should have picked this particular tournament up. I mean, I watched the Usyk fight. That was solid. Then this fight, this was a classic. This is a potential kind of fight of the year. This delivered, and it's unfortunate. I watched it on YouTube. Thankfully, the World Boxing Super Series, their YouTube channel, they streamed it for people in the United States. Other than that, I don't know any cable providers, or at least channels that I have, that were airing this. But big cable networks, especially if you dabble in boxing, you guys dropped the ball, because this was a great fight. One, it's a meaningful fight. Now, the thing that I like about fights like this is tournaments like this and the Super Six, you usually see even competition. It's not just whitewashes and one-sided blowouts, where it's like an even skill level. This was a good fight. To me, it was a fight of halves. Gassiev really impressed me in this particular performance because I thought he was losing in the first half of the fight. Dorticos, also known as the KO doctor, he came out aggressive, he was measured, he was composed, and he was constantly pushing Gassiev back. And I'm like, why is Gassiev just fighting off the back foot? But Gassiev, as the fight played on, I realized that his game plan was more slow and steady wins the race, the tortoise and the hare type of thing, where it just worked out to perfection. He knew he was in there with the big puncher. I mean, a guy named the KO doctor, guy that said he was going to knock him out in the first 5. So he didn't blow his whole wad early, and he measured and paced himself. And he was in it enough in the early rounds without taking any too big of a penitentiary chance to the point where he gets knocked out early. He was kind of just on the back foot. The first round, he wasn't really countering. I don't have all the rounds memorized, but second, he opened up a little bit more and so forth. But he was just kind of counter punching. But I think it was about the 5th round where Gassiev really started to pour on his offense. And to me, it was that 5th round, pretty much the halfway point, where Gassiev started to turn it up and you started to see him kind of unload his full game plan. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of a Lamont Peterson versus Danny Garcia, where at first Lamont Peterson's not doing too much offensively, but then he shows you that there's a second phase, a second leg of this game plan, and that's to turn up. And that's exactly what he did, and it worked to perfection. Dorticos, to my knowledge, I don't think he's ever went the full 12 rounds. He's a knockout artist. So what Gassiev and Abel Sanchez concocted, what they came up with, was take him into territory he's never really experienced and drown him. And that's exactly what they did. They took him into deep waters and they drowned him. You know what I mean? Dorticos, again, around rounds 5, his performance starting to flatten out, where he didn't look as crisp. His body didn't have the same body language. He looked like he was wilting a bit, not as upright with his offense. He was still pushing forward the full fight. I give Dorticos credit, but Gassiev made him look more one-dimensional as the fight unfolded. You could tell he's a puncher, and he was like kind of looking for that punch because he didn't make those adjustments in the second half. he kept doing more of the same. But Gassiev had a good game plan where he's picking his shots. And credit to Dorticos' chin. That motherfucker got a chin. Even though he got knocked out in the 12th round, he got a chin because he could have folded a lot faster than the 12th round. But the motherfucker was taking shots. I mean, Gassiev is known as a good puncher, right? They're almost equal in size. They're both listed at 6'3", but Dorticos looked a little bit bigger. But you could tell they're big cruiserweights, big, able-bodied cruiserweights or whatever. And Dorticos was taking some nasty uppies, some uppercuts, some sweeping right hooks and stuff. And to his credit, for most of the fight, he kept plowing forward. But again, around round 5, that's when shit started to change. And Gassiev picked up the pace. And then Abel Sanchez, I liked his corner advice. I want to give him a lot of credit. See, I'm not trying to pit trainers against each other, but what Abel Sanchez was saying in the corner, I respected. He was like, man, give me another round like that. 3 more minutes. Just keep being consistent. Open your hands up, but don't get too, you know what I mean? It was like good, solid corner advice that I feel his fighter needed to hear. But when I looked at, like, let's say Freddie Roach versus his last fight, Jorge Linares, he had his fighter Mercito Hesta fighting Jorge Linares. I didn't really hear Freddie Roach telling Hesta what he needed to do to really get back into the fight, and it was clear Linares was taking over, and he was like almost out of the fight. And Freddie Roach was just kind of like, yeah, we need more offense. We gotta just keep coming forward, keep throwing more punches. Like I want to hear concise, cohesive directions, and that's what Abel Sanchez gave to his fighter. You could see there was a level of urgency, like, hey, this is a close fight, but give me another round like that. You know what I mean? Like, he was basically, from what I gathered, he was kind of telling his fighter, you're doing good, but he didn't want to give his fighter too much confidence. He always made it sound like the fight was still in Dorticos' reach, which is perfect because it was a close fight. You know what I mean? But to me, I thought Gassiev started to pull away around round 5. But classic fight, man. Dorticos, again, he just needs to go back to his drawing board. He got taken into unfamiliar territory, and it came to a screeching halt in the 12th round. Gassiev landed a nasty-ass left hook just right on the button. And see, this is what people don't understand about boxing is when you're not fresh and when you're fatiguing, your body's lethargic, your mind goes all sorts of places. I mean, you're drained, especially if the last couple of rounds haven't been going your way. You know you're losing the fight. So all those things combined kind of take you away from the fight. You know what I mean? Just being fatigued, you know what I mean? People drop their hands or they're more lackadaisical because they're naturally becoming tired. You know what I mean? And that's when you make the most mistakes. And that's exactly what happened with Dorticos. Probably being tired, being in a situation where he had to have known that he was losing the fight in those later rounds. I even tweeted this. If you guys follow me, I was doing round by round tweets. I even tweeted this. I said, if Gassiev stays upright in round 12, then he wins the fight. So that means that Dorticos needed a knockout to win. And I said that before the 12th round even started. Go check the timestamps. And you know what I mean? He was in unfamiliar territory and he got caught with that left hook, and he finally went down after 11 rounds of, you know what I mean, like dishing out some punishment but also receiving some punishment. He finally went down, and you could tell he was kind of done for. Then he got dropped again, then somehow he got back up, and then Gassiev paced himself better, so he had enough energy and he just piled it on, and then Dorticos kind of fell through the ropes and got knocked out officially. And then you see Usyk in the crowd and he's kind of smiling. So that's the next fight, Alexander Usyk versus Murat Gassiev. And I will say, in my personal opinion, nothing against Usyk, based on the performance and what he was up against, I was more impressed with Gassiev's last fight, his semifinals or whatever, than I was with Usyk's. I mean, Usyk, he got the victory. Congrats to him. But Gassiev, I liked his game plan. Now, that's not to say Gassiev will beat Usyk, because Usyk styles make fights, and it's still a good fight. But in terms of, I think the better fight in general was Dorticos versus Gassiev. And I also think I was more impressed with the winner's performance in that particular fight. But listen, man, like I said, this makes me happy to be a boxing fan. This was an excellent fight. A very big shame that the networks didn't pick this one up. You guys catch it on YouTube. It should still be up. That's where I watched it, and it was a classic. It was a dope fight. Props to Gassiev. He worked hard, because I know people that watched him spar against Gennady Golovkin, and they said Golovkin was whooping on him. You know what I mean? And that's just from what my source said. But people improve, sparring, and that's impressive to see what he did with Dorticos. And it was a good game plan, very solid game plan. You got to understand, boxing, it's not just the physical aspect. You can have all the power in the world, but you still have to be able to get it off. And I think maybe the fact that Gassiev was fighting off the back foot in the first couple of rounds and creating more of a moving target, blocking some shots and not just being there for the pickings for the big shots, kind of discouraged Dorticos. And another thing I give Gassiev credit for is because when you know you have good power and a guy's just walking through your shots like he's the fucking Terminator, you close your boots, give them to me. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah. Nice night for a walk. You know what I'm saying? And they just walking through all your shit. That could be discouraging in itself. And Gassiev didn't let it fuck with him, and he just stayed true to the game plan, listened to his corner, and he got the victory. Classic fight. Shout out to World Boxing Super Series, Abel Sanchez and Murat Gassiev. Dope fight in Russia. Let me know your comments, thoughts. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.